mystical stone circles, intriguing white chalk horses, and villages that seem to have stood still in time. You could travel all over the world looking for these sights, but move to Wiltshire and they'd all be right here on your doorstep.
So many people, when they're dreaming about escaping to the countryside, think about the extremes. They want to go to the margins, to far-flung coastlines, up mountain valleys. But Wiltshire offers something much more subtle. What it lacks in remoteness, it more than makes up in terms of these beautiful landscapes.
Where southeast England ends and the southwest begins, you'll find the county of Wiltshire.
Do you know, I think Wiltshire is one of the most magical places around. There's something about it, there must be something underwater. I just find it so still. There's the nature element, but you also get, I don't know, wonderful, magical people.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that the towns and villages here were straight out of a film. Often they are. But the county is far more than just an A-list film set. For almost 500,000 people, Wiltshire is home.
I always seem to come back to Wiltshire. Everybody here, it's a really nice community and it's great. I've got a little boy, so it's nice to bring him up out in the countryside.
Definitely move here. There's lots to see, lots of really nice walks. You've got Avebury, Stonehenge, Silbury Hill. Do it.
Many properties in Wiltshire have amazing walking right on their doorstep. In fact, Wiltshire County Council are really good at mapping and maintaining the 8,200 routes that crisscross the county, which is great news for today's buyers because they are footloose and very adventurous.
Hi, we're John and Joe. We live a slightly different life to many other people, a bit more nomadic.
We had a bit of a change in our lifestyle 6 years ago. Just decided it was time to shake things up a bit. Our children had left home.
And so we headed off and decided to go and see the world. And there's the Grand Canyon, amazing. It was a great trip to Egypt, down the Nile. Spent some great time in Wales, in the Snowdonia, Italy where we did some volunteering work. Australia, Great Barrier Reef, up to Norway, probably the greatest train journey we've ever made.
Having sold the family home of some 20-odd years and almost all their possessions, John and Joe packed what remained into 2 rucksacks.
Like 2 snails with our houses on our backs.
Well, it's time to find these 2 snails a bigger and more permanent shell.
Wiltshire, we've done a few house sits in this area and we just love the countryside around here and it feels comfortable for us. And when we've returned, we just feel a little bit like coming home, which is a strange term because we haven't got a home yet.
Our globe-trotting duo, John and Joe, don't have a huge wish list, which means we can really have some fun showing them different options. What they do know is that they prefer a character property with a minimum of 2 bedrooms. It should have an open-plan kitchen diner, a small flat garden, and be within walking distance of a village. Their budget? £325,000.
I think we can all get on board with the idea of upping sticks and going travelling around the world for 6 years. But coming back, that's quite tricky. So, I mean, John and Joe have lived in 200 plus houses in their travels, but like a house is not a home. So our task really is to find out what will make a home in this very beautiful part of England. I have to say, you 2 have really inspired me. I mean, I would love to do what you've done, to give up everything, go travelling. What inspired you to stop that and come back?
Just a rush of blood to the head, an irresponsible feeling. It just felt the right time to find a base. We don't intend to stop our travelling and our house-sitting adventures, but It's just we need a base, and we're going to carry on doing it to a lesser degree.
We want sort of a bit more consistency and have friends and family over. We've missed our sons and they've looked after us by hosting us a number of times. We want to return the compliment and maybe have over some of the people who've been so kind to us when we've been between travels.
So it's been 6 years of, and how many, 200 houses you've lived in?
Yeah, it's over 300 different beds. So, you know, backs are doing well so far.
Has that made you super fussy about the sort of house you want to live in?
No, not at all. It's probably made us more open, really, because we've stayed in a variety of different houses and we've adapted to them. So I think it makes you more flexible, if anything.
I think it's if we feel comfortable, and if it feels right to us, which is no help whatsoever for you guys.
Strike while the iron is hot, because we need to find a house that becomes your home.
Thank you.
We're making our way to the outskirts of Quemerford, a small village a couple of miles from the historic town of Caen. The town's high street has lots of independent shops and all the daily essentials that John and Joe could need. Plus, the active community here means there are more clubs and groups than you can shake a stick at, including jazz, diving, and even a microlight club. Now there's a way to enjoy the Wiltshire countryside. In a small courtyard of converted agricultural buildings is the property we've come to see.
How do you feel about barn conversions?
Yeah, good. It looks really nice. Like the single-level living idea. It's nice.
Oh, you don't mind that?
No, I think it suits us.
Yeah, it does. We've stayed in a few places like that and it's really nice looking.
The garden is at the front.
Okay.
So you've got this sort of terrace garden. This is south-facing, so this gets all the sun.
Okay.
Should we see if the space inside works?
Yes, please.
Originally converted in 2007, the owner has recently refurbished the property, including recladding the exterior with this lovely larch panelling and fitting a new kitchen.
Come on in.
Thank you.
I like it. Yeah, I like the modern feel with a bit of the history and
Mod.
character in is really good.
So you've got all the original beams that have been worked into the remodelling.
Yeah, I like the light, airy feel
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
good, isn't it?
Yeah, and the kitchen's very nice. It's my type of kitchen.
No, it's nice. I like it, yeah.
Might struggle to have a table and a sofa.
And do you do a lot of TV watching? Is that sort of thing? That you...
No, not really. That's probably why the kitchen dining area is more important. And in some ways, I'd sacrifice the sitting room for a kitchen and dining area because it's always been the heart of our home.
Because you could get a nice table in here if you took out the sofa.
Yeah.
I think
And
we probably
then
would,
maybe-
actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
This would be perfect size.
Why don't you go and have a look at the bedrooms?
Okay.
And you've got a really nice bathroom.
A recently modernised shower room serves the two bedrooms here.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, surprisingly.
I like this.
big,
This is
isn't it?
great size, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's some big furniture in here, and yet it still feels huge.
This will do you?
Yep,
Sleep in here?
yep.
And I can stumble out here to the kitchen to make you coffee in the morning when you demand it.
Perfect.
That works. Really.
Okay, so it's all new carpets. It's really
Yeah, it's
nice.
nice, isn't it?
Yeah, so this must be the second room.
But you'd get...
You would get a double bed in.
Yeah, of course you would,
With
yeah.
a small bedside table.
And we wouldn't need much storage in here. We don't have a lot of
No.
stuff. No, I like this room as well. That'll
Yeah, I
wouldn't it?
do.
That's nice.
Hey,
Hello there.
you love it?
It's definitely food for thought, this one.
Yeah, I-
Trying to see how we can make it work with the living space and if it is big enough. This area is
all double.
lovely. It's-
Yeah,
So
we
this
like
is sort
this.
of right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we like this. It's
Yeah.
great.
I was scratching my head thinking, because obviously you want something that's practical and you can lock up and you can leave, but I'm wondering if there's a part of you that's also like, ooh, I want roses around the doorway and a real lovely home.
I guess
Put
so.
down roots.
I guess there's a part of that, being able to relax and sit back. So it's a mixture of both.
So what about the price of this one? What's the price tag?
I'm going to go for 320,000.
I'm going to say £310,000 because it's so nicely finished inside.
Yeah.
Well, you are guessing high, because actually this is on the market for offers over £250,000.
I'm amazed. That's really that's surprising. That 250. I like that.
Have you seen enough, or do you want to go back inside?
It'd be great to go back and have another quick look at Speak, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Thank you.
See you in a minute.
It's great. On
On the outskirts of the village of Quemmerford, this recently refurbished barn conversion has an open-plan kitchen living area, 2 double bedrooms and a shower room. It has a neat south-facing courtyard garden and is on the market for £250,000.
Exactly the sort of place that would suit us down to the ground. It's got some beams in it and it's got the high pointy ceilings. Is that the right term? Pointy ceilings? Anyway, it's got high pointy ceilings, which gives it so much character and makes it feel maybe bigger than it is, but yeah, I really liked it inside.
The only thing is the sort of limited space in the kitchen diner. And we do know we've got to make compromises somewhere, and it's just thinking, is that the compromise we're happy to make?
Yeah.
This is Devizes, a hilltop town in the north of Wiltshire that was recently rated by one online newspaper as the best country location to live in the UK. Upon reading that, we sent Joe and John there to see what all the hype is about.
Well, this is nice in here.
Part of the town's appeal is its remote feel. There's no train station here and no major trunk roads nearby. The A303 and M4 are a 30-minute drive away. But perhaps the real jewel in its crown is the number of independent shops.
I do like the picnic hamper.
More than 250 small businesses are passionately supported by local residents.
Hello.
Hiya.
Hi there.
How you doing?
As Zoe learnt when she began working in this zero waste store, which opened at the beginning of 2020.
So what's the sense of community like in Devizes?
The community's brilliant here. In fact, we've actually got a event running next weekend called Indie Day. We wanted to support all the local businesses like ourselves. There's so many people in Devizes who got so many skills and they've got so many lovely little stores or shops, and we wanted to basically show them off so everyone gets together and support, and all the community come and join us, and it's a lovely, lovely day. We stock quite a lot of, locally sourced products and produce, and yeah, the community's just, everyone's really polite, everyone's really caring and really lovely around here, and we wouldn't be here without the community, basically.
Devizes would certainly offer John and Joe the community they're after. We just need to find them a house. Now, John and Joe strike me as an open-minded couple, so our next property is something of a wild card, but I think it will dovetail perfectly with their globe-trotting lifestyle. It's in the village of Pewsey, about 6 miles south of Marlborough. It's a village that John and Joe know well because they've house-sat here previously. The high street has everything they need, and there's a train station with direct trains to London Paddington in under an hour. A 10-minute walk from the station, we find this handsome-looking property.
So, Joe and John, I just wanted to show you this little property provocation.
Okay.
Because you gave us quite a kind of broad remit of what you were looking for. But we like to kind of throw in a little few zingers. And this is a very unique, so it really caught my eye, and I wanted to share it with you.
Okay.
This Grade 2 listed manor house, built in the early 1700s, has been split into 4 individual apartments. We're here to view a 2-bed apartment that takes up half of the top floor.
How much, just off the top of your head, can you have a guess at how much it might cost?
297,000.
Very precise.
Yes.
I'll go £275,000.
Joe, you are spot on.
Oh,
This is
no.
on the market for £275,000. It's good, since you haven't seen inside.
Yes?
Shall we see
yeah,
inside?
lovely.
Yes, please.
The lovely grounds here are shared by the manor's residents and maintained by professional gardeners. An annual service charge of £1,800 ensures all the property's shared expenses are covered. Inside, I think this generously proportioned apartment will appeal to our couple.
Oh, it's very grand.
Isn't it? isn't it?
I'm sure you've stayed in very grand properties.
Maybe.
One
This
or
is
two.
really nice.
It's got a lovely comfy feel. And a bigger room if you needed a table and chairs. You could accommodate
Easily.
sofas and table and chairs.
Because these are
in
big
here.
sofas, aren't they?
So do you want to have a little poke in? There's the kitchen through there.
That's really nice. Look at
Very
that.
nice views.
Oh, God grief.
I like this.
Lovely.
So much light. I love it. Do you like it?
I do like it. Yeah, I'm surprised.
What, surprised you like it or surprised how nice it is?
I'm surprised that I like it.
I love it when a curveball hits the mark, and this one seems to be doing just that. Off the living room is the first of 2 bedrooms.
So this would be where your guests would stay.
This is a big enough size, isn't it?
I like it. Again, it's got real character, isn't it?
I think it suits you very well.
I think, yeah, I feel that way.
Strolling
I
around.
need a cravat.
The main bedroom and bathroom are accessed via a corridor.
It's a bathroom.
Bathroom, which is very modern.
These rooms are big, aren't they? Yeah, they're ideal. And not too creaky floors.
This is big, with lots of storage.
Yeah, I like that. And look at the view when you're
Oh, I need to look
laying
at
in
the
bed
view.
looking out the window.
Oh, look.
Wow.
It's like a penthouse apartment, isn't it?
Well, it is, isn't it? Because you're up high, it's going to feel private, isn't it? Because you're never overlooked.
No.
You're doing the overlooking.
I never would have thought of looking at something like this.
I know.
Blow my mind.
On the market for £275,000, this generously proportioned Georgian apartment is really making them think.
Do you like my curveball?
Oh, we loved your curveball, but it was a bit unsettling, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not hit me here.
No. You don't expect it. You don't expect to come up and find somewhere so nice. It's a stunning apartment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the people who live here work in London and they lock it up. You know, they come here, and then they lock it up, and then of course they know their neighbours. They're really good friends with their neighbours. So if they need anything checking, the neighbours are here. The garden gets looked after by the gardeners. So it is a real lock up and leave if you need it to be.
Yeah.
But it's also a lovely place to entertain.
It's very spacious.
It's really nice.
It's a great room.
Oh, thanks so much for that. It's really confused us even more.
Yeah.
It's not helping the situation.
Well, you know, you're coming back. You've been on this amazing mind-expanding journey around the world.
Yeah.
So you don't have to come back into a chocolate box cottage. You could
No,
do something
no,
different.
not at all.
And that's what's been so great about today, that you've really shown us different things that we wouldn't have thought of, like buying conversion and an apartment or penthouse, as I choose to call it.
Penthouse, yeah.
Well, it's not over yet. I'm going to have to drag you away from your penthouse.
Okay.
Follow me.
Well, after the success of that wildcard property, I've got another one to show them. We're heading back to Devizes, the town that John and Joe explored earlier. On its outskirts is Devizes Marina, which sits on the Kennet and Avon Canal. This cedar-clad luxury lodge is one of 8 marina-side properties and is, I think, another excellent contender for this lock-up-and-leave lifestyle.
Couldn't resist showing you this either. I'm spoiling you.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You
So
are.
many different ways of appreciating Wiltshire.
I know, it's beautiful.
What lovely vista.
Fantastic.
It's a
great
lovely
view,
vista.
yeah.
And then, actually, this is an extraordinarily well-appointed house. 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms,
Goodness.
lots of space to entertain, hot tub. What's not to
You're
love?
getting carried away now, yeah.
And best of all, the price, £175,000.
Wow.
All that for 175.
So then you could have extra £100,000, you could buy yourself
Get one of these.
and the mooring.
Yeah.
Any thoughts first off the bat?
That's a calm feeling of being here. It feels a calm
It is a relaxed
place.
way of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can just hear the birds. It's lovely. I like it. Okay.
Many
Have a look,
facets.
have a look,
to
ins-
it.
have a look
We'll have a look
inside.
inside, okay.
It's really nice.
Built in 2017, this is a leasehold property with an annual ground rent of £1,800. The terms of sale stipulate that the purchasers must be cash buyers aged over 55, but unusually for this kind of property, the lodge can be used all year round.
Oh, it's bigger than I thought.
It's
From
lovely,
the
isn't it?
outside, it looks small.
Really smart.
And look at that outlook. Oh, the boats.
Table chairs. lounge area.
Yeah.
It's huge, isn't it? It's got
It
tons
is
of
very
space.
big, much
Yeah, I
bigger
love
than
it.
I thought. And
I
very
really like
light.
it. Yeah, it's lovely. Look at the kitchen.
Light. It's big enough for me. You don't need anything bigger. And it's nice that you, even when you're here cooking, you can still see that view.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Very nice.
I was expecting it to be a bit like a caravan, but it isn't like a caravan. It's like a
No.
high-spec house.
No. Big bedroom, big bed.
That is huge, isn't it?
Lots of storage.
Again, it's bigger than bedrooms in some of the houses that we've seen, isn't it?
It is. Is that wardrobe? Oh my word, it goes on.
This is a bit of a secret. Do you think you're going to hang your clothes up in there?
I thought I got to the end
Yeah, so did I.
of the lodge.
I like the
didn't
shower.
realise
It's
it
a
was
cool
another
shower.
one.
That's my shower.
Yeah.
There's a door leading from the ensuite to the outside, with a second, more private balcony.
Oh, wow. It goes on and on. Look, come look.
Oh, secret little patio.
Secret hot tub. How is there
look
enough
here.
space for all these things here?
Oh, that's smashing. No, and it's quite private. Once you're in there, you wouldn't be seen.
Well, you're down there. You're not overlooked by anybody at all or anything, are you? It's great.
There's a lot to this, isn't there?
This is messing with our heads.
On the market for £175,000, this contemporary timber lodge would leave John and Joe with enough money to invest in a canal boat and lead a rather unique lifestyle on the waterways of Wiltshire.
You look right at home.
What are you doing to us?
But it's beautiful inside.
It's fantastic.
It's so well designed and so spacious. From the outside, you wouldn't think it would feel like that.
I really like it. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, we'd never thought of the option of two properties, which obviously puts that on the table with something that is this price and so nice.
And a boat.
And a boat.
Oh, a boat. That's ridiculous.
A canal boat is a wonderful way to explore the countryside, so to flesh out this idea of owning both a house and a boat, we're meeting up with Duncan.
Hi, Duncan.
He moors his boat here at the marina and spends half the year living in Canada and the other half on his boat, exploring the networks of canals in the county and beyond.
Duncan, this is such a beautiful... How would you describe this? It's not a narrow boat, is it?
No, it's not a narrow boat, it's a wide beam boat. And it's a traditional style, but fatter and wider.
Do you plan where you're going to go then, or do you just go on spec and think, let's just go and see where we end up?
Yeah, sometimes I do, well, most of the time I take the boat into the town for market day, stay there for 2 or 3 days, and then maybe head off in the opposite direction.
Take the boat into the town, that's such a weird thing to hear someone
Great.
say, yeah.
It's absolutely great, love it.
So how much would something like this cost you, just ballpark, if someone wanted to go and buy it?
I mean, brand new, you're possibly talking in the region, on the wide beam like this, you're talking in the region of about 120 up to 140, it depends what spec you want.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Maybe you start off with a decent one for about £80,000.
Still not bad, is it?
It's not bad.
A fixed caravan on a caravan site can cost you more than
That's
that.
right.
Would you imagine being on the water, or is that not?
Absolutely.
Oh, you would?
I love the water.
Yeah.
I love the sea, lakes, canals, rivers. I do love the water.
This could cause us all sorts of problems now, couldn't
Yeah,
it?
nomads, but
I know.
in Wiltshire.
Yeah,
Enough for one day?
that's certainly enough. Our heads are spinning completely.
Thank you so much, and we'll get you some away so you can relax and chew over everything. But yeah, have a great season on the waterways.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Duncan. Great to meet you.
And you
Thank
too.
you.
Well, you don't see us on the waterway. You might see us walking
There we
along the
go.
path beside it. We do like a wander.
And after that jam-packed day, we're heading back to the hotel for a very well-earned rest. Spellbound by Wiltshire? If the county is working its magic on you, then before you make the move, be sure you've got the lowdown on the property market here. The average cost of a detached property in Wiltshire is just over £450,000. That's £60,000 higher than the UK average. At one time, remember the days when we'd commute to work, you could put this price hike down to the county's superb transport links.
We are well connected here. We have easy access to the M4 and M5 motorways. We have good rail connections.
But now it's the allure of being able to work from home surrounded by Wiltshire's rolling countryside that draws buyers in.
Wiltshire is a little bit of a hidden gem, and as people are looking further afield from the main business hubs, they're discovering a lot of the quality of life offerings that Wiltshire has available. The market in Wiltshire is pretty vibrant right now. I think we've got a renewed sense of optimism coming out of lockdown, and there's a real eagerness for people to get out and find new homes, and we're seeing a really high demand for all sorts of properties at the moment.
And our countryside seekers today are joining the hordes who are looking to escape here. John and Joe have £325,000 to spend on their move to Wiltshire, but no matter your budget, there's something for everyone in this beautiful county. This two-bed detached cottage in the village of Bratton is on the market for £395,000. Its beautifully landscaped garden has a raised deck that overlooks a babbling brook, and that most important of things, a home office. If a less permanent move is more up your street, this unique one-bedroom detached house is available to rent for £950 per calendar month. It comes with a courtyard garden and off-street parking. For £850,000, this stunning detached Grade 2 listed property has 4 bedrooms, an acre of land and uninterrupted views over the Marlborough Downs. One convert to the Wiltshire way of life is travel writer and photographer Katie Pankowski. She moved to the county with her partner Freddie in October 2020 after a decade of living in London.
The pace of our life here is totally different. We have a better work-life balance, and it's really afforded us the chance to work towards the careers we want. I think if there's anything that I miss about London, it's the bathing ponds on Hampstead Heath, where we would swim most days while living there. But we have loads of beautiful river spots close by, and we're over the moon to discover that our village has its own little swimming lake and club. We found this little old cottage in Wiltshire and just loved it. The old features, the wonky stone walls, the original sash windows and the little studio in the garden. We do miss the history and heritage of London, but have already stumbled on some wonderful ancient villages, great old pubs and beautiful walks nearby, so I think they more than make up for that. The biggest change for us, I think, has actually been the little things: breakfast in the garden, daily walks around the village and settling in with a good book by the fire. It's also properly noticing the changes in the seasons and being more connected to nature in that way. I think we just feel much more ourselves and really incredibly lucky to be here.
And having spent the past few days here, I can understand why Katie feels so blessed.
I'm loving this adventure in Wiltshire, and it just struck me that Joe and John are essentially empty nesters who then flew the nest themselves. They had this wonderful home with their 3 boys, and then they dismantled it and scattered it to the winds as they travelled around the world, and now they're gathering up new twigs here in Wiltshire to build something. And what a beautiful county to settle down in. Later on, we're going to go to the allotment, because putting your hands in this Wiltshire soil is profoundly healing, all levels, at whatever stage you are in life. But right now I'm going to focus on finding those extra special property twigs to build a home for Joe and John.
The location of our mystery house is a very large part of its mystery, because it's not in a village, it's in a town, and a very well-connected one at that. Malmesbury, sitting in the north of the county, the River Avon winds through the town, which is built around its 12th century abbey. Living here would put our intrepid explorers within easy striking distance of 2 mainline stations, with direct services to London, some in under an hour, and in the other direction Bath and Bristol. Around 5,500 people call Malmesbury home, and John and Joe could do so too in this Grade 2 listed cottage that sits slap bang in the town centre, just yards from the high street.
How do you feel about living right in the middle of a market town?
We're fine if it's the right place, if it feels right. I don't think
Yeah,
we're
everything's
we're
on
not
your
anti it.
doorstep,
Yeah.
and if the countryside is still accessible, then yeah, we're open to have a look and see what we think.
Let's have a look
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
Let's have a-
The front door opens into a small entrance hall which leads into the dining room.
Come in. This is the oldest part of the house.
Right.
I like the beams and the character of it. It's quite nice, and it doesn't feel as close to the road as it seemed on the outside.
There's a kitchen next door. This is a stud wall, and because it's grade 2 listed, it's only the outside that's protected, so you could knock that through and make this one space.
Oh, okay.
All right, okay.
That's an
interesting.
option, isn't it?
And then you've got outside into a very small but compact, sunny, southeast-facing garden.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't visualise where you'd have a seating area. You know, we banged on about wanting a dining area and somewhere to have family and friends to dinner, but it seems like this option is you're sacrificing not having a seating area for a dining table.
There are 2 more floors.
Okay.
It's a little more spacious than you might first imagine.
Okay.
So you head upstairs. I'm actually going to go and get a cup of coffee.
Okay.
This house is deceptive. On the first floor, matching the exact footprint of the dining room and kitchen below, there's a bedroom and bathroom. But there's also a living room, which actually sits above one of the high street shops.
Oh, crikey, what a surprise. That is a
Oh, wow.
surprise.
So that room downstairs suddenly becomes much better, doesn't it? Now you see this room.
Yeah.
I like the beams, colours. I like it. I like this room. Can I do the doors? What do you think?
Just about.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
The bathroom sits between the living room and the first of 2 bedrooms.
Oh, wow, it's got real character.
It has, hasn't it?
No, and it's big enough. I mean, it's not crammed in. Some rooms you've got no space either
doesn't
side. There's
feel
enough space for it.
low. The only thing is there's not a wall you could put a cupboard against, really. And another floor to explore.
Oh, it's like an attic room. Who doesn't love an attic room? Wow.
A similar size to the one downstairs. It's a big double.
I'd quite like to have my bedroom up here
You do?
rather than down there. Just because it feels lighter, but it's nice. I like it.
Yeah. Could have been a sewing room.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, coffees.
Yes, give us with a
Perfect.
smile.
Oh, that's
promised.
lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
A
you.
lovely barista you make.
Did you like the surprise upstairs?
Yes, absolutely. Because from the front, the footprint looks quite small.
Well, it's what they call a flying freehold. So this is the oldest part, and then your sitting room and your bedroom is actually above the shop here.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's another fascinating house.
Yeah.
With history, with its own personality, which is nice.
And this courtyard space is nice enough for us, isn't it, really?
Actually,
you know,
it's
we
it's
did
fine,
say
yeah.
we didn't want a big garden to keep.
How much do you think the price of this one is?
It's really difficult, I think. But I'm going to say 320,000.
I'm going to go down slightly and say 295,000.
Well, in this case, 2 heads are better than one because it's actually spot on in between. It offers over £300,000.
It's got all the space inside, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
the rooms are decent
Being in the
size.
centre of town.
Yeah, it works well.
This grade 2 listed stone cottage has 2 bedrooms, a dining room and a living room. There's a pretty courtyard garden and it's just seconds from all the conveniences of Malmesbury's flourishing high street. It's on the market for offers over £300,000.
I love the personality of the house. It's got a real character. I like the history of it. I like the beams, and it's all really interesting. The bathroom would need some work. That's the only issue really for us.
And I particularly like the sitting room. I think it had a lovely, comfortable, airy feel. And it's quite nice to be within a town.
The high street is yards away, but you just can't hear it.
But I'm still not 100% taken that it's the house for us.
OK, guys. Let's head on off.
OK.
Allotment life. Those who know will tell you there's nothing quite like it, and more of us are pursuing this pastime. At the peak of the pandemic, applications for council-run allotments soared, and with 1 in 8 of the UK population having no access to a garden, that's hardly a surprise. Sophie, who lives in the Wiltshire village of Melksham, is one such convert. She discovered the good life about 4 years ago and describes herself as having a bad allotment habit. I wonder, can there be such a thing?
Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, you're giving your rhubarb a bit of water.
Good soak.
Very good. This is wonderful. This is your allotment?
Yep, so this is mine all the way back to my shed over there. And I've got my pride and joy over there.
Your 2 allotments?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
2 half plots.
And what are the benefits? Why did you come?
So it's space where you can just grow what you want to grow and it doesn't have to necessarily look pretty. And then you get seasonal food that tastes the best.
So how much time do you spend down the allotment?
Depends on the week, depends on the weather. Sometimes a couple of hours, sometimes 20.
20 hours? Wow. What do you do when you're not down here?
So I'm a nurse in intensive care.
That sounds like a really stressful job.
Yeah, this is the perfect place to de-stress from a hard shift.
The healing effects of nature for both our physical and mental health are well documented. GPs have been able to socially prescribe gardening to suitable patients for a couple of years now. But it's not just people who benefit, the planet does too.
I really like making compost, so it's diverting, waste streams and making your own compost, and then you can go no dig.
So what's no dig? No dig is where you...
Don't dig. That's it, really.
What's the benefit of that?
Really good for the soil health, really good for the microorganisms and then the fungal structures under there, and it's good for locking in carbon.
Once seen as the domain of retirees, there's a surge of younger people like Sophie getting their own plots, often because properties with larger gardens are out of their financial reach.
Oh, it's nice to get your hands in the soil.
Yep.
What is this?
So this is some well-rotted cow manure. So I haven't dug it in, I've just put it direct on. It doesn't smell.
Because you no dig?
Yes, no dig.
Using the no-dig approach, I'm helping Sophie to plant some winter squash, zinnias and amaranthus.
So even though it's no dig, we can still pull it to the side and you can see
look, it's the worms.
Worms, yeah, loads of worms.
Loads of worms. Because the worms eat the soil and then their worm poo is really good for the soil. Right?
Yeah, it's called vermicompost.
That's vermi, not wormy. Although obviously it's that as well.
So just shove it in.
There you go.
I think there's so many different ways to plant stuff and to grow stuff that, you just learn as you go along, and there's not really any right or wrong way.
I think I'd be a no-dig gardener.
Yeah.
I think that sounds about my speed.
Once you don't dig, you never go back.
Never dig again.
One of the very first things that Sophie grew on her allotment was asparagus.
We'll cut this one. I'm going to take that one.
And it's gone on to win awards at the village's annual Veg and Flower Show, although she's far too modest to tell you that herself.
Straight from the ground into our bellies.
Yes.
Love that. We're going to cook it. Can you just cook it like that?
Well, you could eat it raw, or we could just put it in the pan.
Shall I snap it in half?
Yeah, go on then.
Huh. Is it nice raw?
Yes.
Oh, I've never done it raw. Can I try this one? Would this be good?
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And what's this?
So this is my homemade parsnip wine.
Have you actually tried this?
Yes.
Okay. Is it good?
Yes. It's strong.
It's a bit like sherry.
It doesn't taste like parsnip.
It doesn't taste at all of parsnip.
No.
How long does it take to cook? I don't know if I've ever...
Not very long. Probably done. Yeah. Be hot, yeah.
Here's to allotments.
Allotments.
Thanks, Sophie. It's been really nice.
Thanks for coming.
If you've been inspired to get your own allotment, contact your local council or the National Allotment Society to find out where your nearest plots are. Just be prepared, the average waiting time for a plot is 6 to 8 months, so you might have to be patient.
Our Wiltshire wanderings are coming to a close. Let's go and find out whether we have helped or hindered John and Joe build that nest. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, it's been so lovely being here in Wiltshire with you. I mean, I love Wiltshire, but I just wonder how you feel having travelled the world for so long. How's it been plugging back into such a quintessentially English county?
England is where our hearts are, really, and it is a beautiful county.
There are so many locations here that are beautiful. They are, and that's what you can say. They're beautiful. Some of these villages.
Yeah, Wiltshire's like that, isn't it? You go turn off the road and they're like, this place is amazing. I've never heard of it. It's absolutely amazing.
We've let the secret out.
I know. Have any of the properties struck a chord?
There's probably something about each one which we quite liked.
You did show us a variety of properties, and some of them felt more like homes than others. The one at the marina, beautiful outlook, very clever design, but it did feel like somewhere that you would stay temporarily.
Had a holiday home
there.
feel, yeah.
But I think it's reassured us that our budget will get us something, and perhaps we just haven't found the one.
Are you any closer to being able to formulate what it is that would make it a home?
Somewhere where John was.
Or somewhere where Joe was. It's sickening, isn't it? I know.
It's so
it is
sweet.
absolutely sickening. But maybe a few of the things on our requirements, it cemented how important that was. The kitchen diner, for instance.
I really hope that you find somewhere lovely, and do let us know. We'd love to come and visit you.
We will do it. It'll happen some stage when we're least expecting it.
Yeah, it might be a really curveball. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much for having us. We've loved it. It's been so interesting.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Joe and John's adventures here in Wiltshire have been so thought-provoking because, like Sophie in the allotment was saying, putting your hands in the soil, this beautiful Wiltshire soil, is fundamentally quite grounding and rooting. Although when Joe said, well, I'd be happy and at home wherever John is, it sort of makes us redundant. But it's a nice redundancy. And I hope you feel at home with us here and that you'll join us next time as we continue to explore this amazing lifestyle transformation as you escape to the country.
John and Joe continue to house sit around the UK and have returned to Wiltshire to view several more properties. They've yet to find the place they want to call home, but we hope it won't be too long until they're settled in their new rural lifestyle. If you would like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland and need our help, why not apply online at bbc.co.uk/take part.